Welcome back, college basketball fans, and everybody else too. I think there are more good seasons ahead. Today's Monday, April 6th, 2025. Among the Alabamians born on this date, in 1917, prolific character actor R.G. Armstrong of Pleasant Grove. You may have seen him in Peckinpah westerns, or as Flint, the farmer who wouldn't let his daughter wear makeup on the Andy Griffith Show. In 1933, actor Wayne Rogers of Birmingham. He played Trapper John McIntyre on the MASH series. Note that it wasn't him in the spin-off Trapper John MD. For that series, the character was taken by Pernell Roberts, who you also know as Adam Cartwright. In 1992, there's a lot of Western themes here in today's Born On Days. In 1992, host of CNN's The Source, Caitlin Collins of Prattville. Today I'm going to have reporter Margaret Cates on the show to talk about that recycling sorter in Montgomery that has a contract with some cities to separate recycling from trash before it gets into the landfill. She'll let us know what putting a few GPS trackers into recyclables told us. We also have items on the FBI headquarters, more Panama City Beach-related arrests of Alabamians, and while we have a minute, we'll go ahead and bury the lottery for another year. My name's Ike Morgan, and we're down in Alabama.
It's tourney time, and with FanDuel's Dog of the Day, you can get a daily profit boost during the College Conference Championships to bet on any underdog. So get ready to celebrate some upsets.
No one saw that coming, except for me, baby!
21 plus in present in select states. Opt-in required. Minimum plus 100 odds required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
In what could be seen as an indication of what might and what won't happen with the FBI's headquarters, North Alabama Congressman Dale Strong said last week that he supports President Trump's desire to send FBI HQ out of the Beltway, but that he doesn't think Huntsville is the right fit, reports AL.com's William Thornton. Now, it seemed like a long shot anyway, but even predating the current Trump administration, the thought of FBI to Huntsville has been floated, and over the past couple years, we've heard Senator Tommy Tuberville and Congressman Gary Palmer put their endorsement on the idea. Now, during the telephone town hall last week, Strong said, quote, "I'm just telling you right now, that's not a good move for us nor for the government. But you start looking at it. We do all the accounting for the FBI. You look at the training that's done here. I think we will continue to do this." Another spate of Alabama residents are following up their trips to Panama City Beach with Florida court dates. AL.com's Carol Robinson reports that 4 Alabama teenagers have recently been charged in 2 separate shootings. The shooting that made big news happened in late March at Pier Park. 3 people were hospitalized after the shooting, which has been described as related to Dothan area gangs. Panama City Beach Police Chief J.R. Talamontes announced the arrest of 3 teens in that case. He said an 18-year-old fired an AR-15 style rifle into a crowd. The other 2 arrested were ages 17 and 15. The chief also said there likely will be more arrests. Then on this past Thursday night, in a completely separate incident, a bizarrely poor decision led to another Dothan 18-year-old's arrest. According to police, a rumor began circulating inside Hammerhead Fred's that somebody had a gun inside. There has been no confirmation that a gun was actually present in the facility, but it did cause people to pour out of the place and into the parking lot, where in the midst of the chaos, police say the suspect from his car fired 4 shots into the air, with police officers a few feet away. When we last left you, it was apparent that this year's effort at a lottery/gambling bill was not going anywhere quickly, or even slowly. No, I bring it up just to do the annual thing I get to do here, and that's to close the coffin on the latest effort to legalize gambling in Alabama. AL.com's John Sharp reports that after Senate President Pro Tem Garland Gudger said it was dead for this session, State Senator Greg Albritton, the bill's sponsor, sounded like he was done with it, period. Quote, "We've tried everything we can on this bill over the years. One thing has been proven is that it doesn't matter what the bill says, period. If the word gaming or gambling shows up on the page, it's a no vote." All right, we're going to take a quick ad break so we can keep the lights on in this place. When we come back, AL.com's Margaret Cates is going to tell us about tracking recyclables from Birmingham's over-the-mountain suburbs and whether they were going where we expected them to go. Y'all stay with us.
The spirit of innovation is deeply ingrained in America, and Google is helping Americans innovate in ways both big and small. The Department of Defense is working with Google to help secure America's digital defense systems, from establishing cloud-based zero-trust solutions to deploying the latest AI technology. This is a new era of American innovation. Find out more at g.co/American innovation.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. It's tax season, and we're all a bit tired of numbers. But here's one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now here's a good number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it. Guaranteed. Save up to 40% your first year at LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Thanks for staying with us, folks. A while back, we had several stories about a facility in Montgomery that's supposed to sort out recyclables from household garbage for us. It sounded pretty win-win-win, taking care of all the waste while keeping plastics and other reusable material out of landfills. Now, if your local government is supposed to be using the facility and you toss that plastic Diet Coke bottle into the trash, there's still a level of faith you have to have in your local officials, then in your local sanitation company, then in the recycler to make all of it happen. And some people are skeptical, if you can imagine that. AL.com reporter Margaret Cates has been looking into whether there is good reason behind the skepticism. Margaret, welcome to Down in Alabama.
Hello, thanks for having me.
It's good to have you here. Can you remind everybody about what Repower South is and what's supposed to be happening with this?
Yeah, so Repower South is it's a recycling facility in Montgomery, and its pitch, what it's sort of billed as, is the magic garbage machine. So it sorts trash from recycling using their machinery, and then sorts the recyclables. And its big promise is that they hope to divert more trash from landfills by taking paper and plastic that would otherwise be can't be recycled, would otherwise be trashed, and turn it into something called re-engineered feedstock, which is an alternative fuel source.
I like the word magic in there. Well, we got to see if the magic's happening. How did you go about tracking garbage for this report to see where it goes?
So the trackers is really the most fun part of this story, of course.
Yeah.
It was hard to get any answers definitively. Calling people just didn't really, it was just really hard to get answers. And so we started with putting air tags into, or attaching an Apple AirTag like you would attach to your keys or your wallet. We would attach one of those to a recyclable, like an aluminum can or a plastic water bottle, and then put the AirTag recyclable into the trash, into the trash and recycling collection. and wait for it to be picked up. And the hope was that once it was picked up, we would be able to follow it, follow it on the truck to wherever it was going. Well, air tags are Bluetooth activated, and, a garbage truck is, they have a compressor in there to, squish the trash. And so only one of our air tags survived, and it went to Big Sky Environmental, which is a landfill garbage provider northwest of Birmingham.
Yeah, we've heard of that one.
So this was really perplexing to us. And so then because only one of our air tags worked, we decided to get these, they looked like little hockey pucks, these satellite trackers, and do the same thing. Attach the tracker to a recyclable and put it in the garbage and recycling collection. And we were a little more successful with those. We had 2 of those trackers end up at Big Sky Environmental.
Okay.
Which, again, was sort of perplexing to us because Repower South, this recycling facility,
Right.
is supposed to be open and recycling is supposed to go there,
Right.
not to Big Sky, in theory.
Now, by coincidence, that's the old destination of the poop train from up north, Big Sky. But anyway, do we have any idea why the recyclables weren't getting to Montgomery where they were supposed to be headed?
So, yes, Big Sky is the home of the poop trains, if you all remember from a few years ago. So, what AmWaste told us, AmWaste is the garbage provider for a lot of the Birmingham suburbs. What AmWaste told us is that when Repower South is closed, Big Sky is their backup plan, and Big Sky is able to sort trash from recycling the same way that Repower South is able to. So, the question is, why are they going to Big Sky, though? Because Repower South says they're open and says they're able to take this volume.
So AmWaste, which, like you said, does the local sanitation for the over-the-mountain cities that you did your research in, do they have the responsibility to deliver to the recycling center, or at least a recycling center?
They are the sanitation provider for any city that's in this, quote, Cahaba Solid Waste Disposal Authority. They are required under their contract with these cities to take trash and recycling in a mixed collection or a commingled collection. And 2, they are required to take it to a recycling facility that is capable of sorting trash from recycling.
Okay.
Not all recycling facilities have that capability. They have to do it this way. Repower South is not mentioned in the contract, but it is required to be collected as a mixed stream, commingled collection, and sorted at a facility capable of sorting trash from recyclables.
So we did find where a lot of the trash was going, but I guess we're still going on faith a little bit, and it doesn't particularly help the skepticism out there.
There's a lot of skepticism out there that recycling is happening. If, there have been some challenges with Repower South. They had a couple of fires in the last year. They've got some reports that are confusing, to say the least. And then obviously Big Sky is known first and foremost as a landfill. So I don't think that, they say they have recycling capabilities. AmWaste says they have recycling capabilities. Again, it's known as a landfill. So I think a lot of people are skeptical that recycling is happening.
Okay. Well,
I should note that Big Sky says that they have recycling capability on their website. I never was able to speak with a representative from Big Sky. One employee told me they didn't know anything about recycling from over the mountain suburbs.
Oh, wow.
So, and that's all in the story.
Right.
Then they hung up on me when they found out that I was a reporter.
No.
So I should add that. That's important.
Yeah, I'd say so. As far as we know, then, Repower is back online after the issues. You mentioned a fire.
Yes, as far as we know, Repower South is back online. There was a fire at the facility in August of last year. When I spoke with the CEO of Repower South, he said they were not sure what causes the fire. That's apparently a hazard in recycling facilities. So the whole facility was closed for a few months. It reopened in November, and then in February, there was another small fire at the facility, so it was closed for a few days. But it is, as of now, it is open and taking garbage and recycling, they say, but it is not at full capacity. So the CEO says they'll be at full capacity in the next couple of months.
Okay, well, we kind of take what we can get, I guess. Maggie, thanks so much for doing the legwork to find out for folks what's going on out there as best we could. And thanks for coming on here to share it with the Down in Alabama audience. We appreciate it and hope to have you back on.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to talk about. Pleasure to chat with you this morning.
That's right. It is definitely morning. Well, thanks everybody for listening to us. Hey, we'll stick Margaret's links in show notes so you can check out more there. We are going to be back here again tomorrow. Until then, come by anytime, see what we're working on the internet at al.com.